Mark.
Hi, Alex.
I'm Alex. I'm co-founder and chief revenue officer at ClearEstate.
I'm Mark Neale. I'm the head of industry for wealth and finance at ClearEstate. Alex, tell me, why did you launch ClearEstate?
So in 2019, my mom passed away, and I became the executor on her estate. And really, that was my first brush with the world of wills and estates, and discovering how much of a difficult and tremendously painful process that is. And when the pandemic hit, and I was looking for help to really support me in settling the estate, I found that I did not meet the criteria of banks or trust offices or even some attorneys to help me settle the estate. So I thought never again, and maybe there's an opportunity to help other people like me who require the help and are just going through a tough time. Mark, how do you see ClearEstate fitting as a partner for private wealth advisors?
Nowadays, Alex, so many advisors are having holistic discussions with their clients, not just about retirement planning, but taking it a step further towards what's the legacy planning. And that's where I see ClearEstate fitting in, is to help with that discussion about legacy planning. An advisor can go on with their client, book a 30-minute interview for free with ClearEstate, and begin the process of establishing that client's legacy.
Mark, why did you decide to join ClearEstate and step out of retirement?
Alex, I spent 40 years in the financial services industry, and over the last number of years, I had 10 friends or advisors pass away, and I saw it was just a brutal mess in most situations. I saw ClearEstate when I learned about it, that here was an opportunity for advisors to be able to pass on something that's so valuable to their customers, a well-planned estate, a place to go to get estate settlement done by professionals at a reasonable cost. Alex, where are we in terms of pricing when it comes to estate settlement compared to other options that people have?
I think ClearEstate comes in as a response to the actual service provider. So we're not a service for the ultra rich. We're a service for the general population that just wants to be accompanied through this really complex, really difficult process, and not have to pay a hefty hourly rate. Want transparent pricing that's clear from the get-go, and is something that people can wrap their minds around.
Alex, years ago, I was looking for a professional executor, and I went to a trust company where I was informed that I didn't fit as a client. I was too young or did not sufficient asset. Are you telling me that ClearEstate can act as a professional executor?
Yes, Mark. ClearEstate can act as a professional or corporate executor for someone who wants to plan their estate. Really, the cost structure of the typical trust office, it makes it very prohibitive for them to handle estates that are not more than $2, $3, $4 million in assets. Our cost structure is significantly different, and we're able to act as professional executor for really a fraction of the cost, and we make it accessible to a much wider audience as well.
Alex, there's a number of services out there that are essentially just online will providers or maybe some type of storage. What makes ClearEstate different?
Yeah, ClearEstate is really an estate planning service which comes with a lot of expertise. So it's not just a self-serve, go online, make your will. Our team of professionals can also support our clients think about various elements, including testamentary trust and Henson trust as well. So a very full service approach to estate planning.
Alex, these days it comes up in the news, but people are concerned about data security, especially using technology solution. What can you say about our data security here at ClearEstate?
We take data security and privacy extremely seriously at ClearEstate, and we were certified as a SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, which is the highest level of security in the banking industry. And when it comes to privacy, we just aligned ourselves with the highest standard of privacy from North America and Europe, and essentially we composed a privacy policy that was extremely strict, and we enforce it internally with a lot of compliance with employees and training and so on. So yeah, data privacy and security is absolutely key in this industry.
Alex, is ClearEstate a law firm?
No, ClearEstate is not a law firm. We do employ attorneys, but our attorneys do not offer legal service. Really, we're in the administration of the estate process, which is not the practice of law, and we're just offering a service that's beginning to end on the administration, which sometimes requires probate, and oftentimes requires tax filings as well through the process.
But maybe I'm mistaken, but doesn't probate require a lawyer?
In most jurisdictions, probate does not require an attorney. Most executors can actually file for probate themselves. And in the jurisdictions that do require a probate attorney to file the probate application, then we employ outside counsel so that we can abide by the rules of those jurisdictions. Mark, tell us about your experience as a customer of ClearEstate.
Well, I did my 30-minute free consultation with my wife, and we decided to become ClearEstate customers. So we signed on for a package that would allow ClearEstate to be the executor for the estate. The interesting thing about the process was, adding up or putting in the assets and the liabilities and the factual information was easy. ClearEstate entered some of it, I entered some of it. The more interesting part was the discussion that it developed between my wife and I, because I had specific ideas about my funeral, which was I was to be cremated, and my wife said right away that she didn't want to be cremated. And then I said, well, in our existing wills, that's what it said. It also, when we got to the beneficiaries and what happens if we're not here, where does the money go? She had very different ideas than I had. And so those were things that we had to discuss sort of afterwards and go away from the meeting and then actually come back to the ClearEstate estate professional to have that conversation with and complete it.
So it created dialogue for you.
Oh, absolutely, and still does. But it was a healthy experience, and it didn't require me to do anything other than to be in my home with my wife and log on to the computer. I didn't have to go to a lawyer's office. I didn't have to sit down. I didn't have to drive my car downtown Vancouver. It was easy.
Mark, most people choose to name either a spouse or one of their children as executor. Why did you want a professional executor to be appointed in your will?
It's a good question. The thing is that if something happens to me and my wife is the executor, at the same time, she's dealing with all of the responsibilities as executor. She's also dealing with the loss of her husband, or in my case, it would be the loss of my wife. And I didn't want to burden her with that. I didn't think it was fair to a friend. A close friend is going through the same thing, and do I need to burden them with it? So I'd always thought that the other fact is that I needed a corporate executor because I know it's always going to be there. It's not relying on one person, it's relying on an organization. And that's why I wanted a corporate executor.
Mark, how should an advisor get started with ClearEstate?
You know how an advisor should get started with ClearEstate? I'll tell you, do exactly what I did. Go on, push the button, and book a 30-minute consultation for two reasons. Number one, to get an idea about the service that we can provide to your customers. And number two, to have a review perhaps of your own estate and make sure your own affairs are in order. That's the benefit of ClearEstate. Push the button, book a consultation.